So welcome to everyone joining. We'll start our meeting here, our event, with a bit of chanting and a lighting of the incense, offering incense to the Buddha. And after we do that, we'll take about 15 minutes and open up the floor for Q&A. And then after that 15 minutes, then we will do a kind of a reintroduction or a talking about our community, the intentions of the monk life community, and then an introduction into meditation. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'll be doing some chanting and offering some incense. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gesami, Dhammam saranam gesami, Sangham saranam gesami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so a very sincere welcome to everyone. We are live here on YouTube with the Monk Life community. And the intention of our practice here tonight, at least it's tonight for me, is to touch on the basic practice of meditation, the basic fundamentals of the practice, the approach to practice, and also the intentions of our community, the community that I am facilitating online through our Discord and through our live events. So as we give people some time, an opportunity to join in, let's say about, let's see how long we've been live here. Oh, a little tricky to get a hold of this here. So we've been live for about 10 minutes. We'll give it just about another 5 to 10 minutes. Let people join in. And during that time, if anyone has a question they'd like to ask, or if they have something to share, if they just want to say hello in the live chat, that's wonderful. And we will patiently give that time for people to join us to see that we're live, and then we'll begin with our introduction. First talking about the community, the intentions of the community, and then moving on to a general introduction of meditation practice. So we've got 20 people here. How about some people want to say hello? Grant, a new Discord member, awesome. It's one of the reasons I wanted to organize this, this coming together, because we have a lot of new members. And it's good to reiterate or to check in again about, what's this Discord about? What is this community about? Etc. Hi there, Fern. And Isma from South America. Very cool. I'm sure we have people right now from all over the world joining. Daniel, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining. Hi there to Gold. Oh, Theo is light. That's an interesting experience. Thank you for sharing that. And sometimes we'll have events on the Discord, events that are more focused on discussion and getting to know one another. But they kind of recently, the platform that we've been using is YouTube. It's very accessible to use through the phone. I do all of this stuff through my 2 phones. And so we mainly are using that in the live chat. But sometimes we'll be on Discord where we can have video calls and things like that. So about another 5 minutes, giving people the opportunity to join in. And as we wait, if you have a question that's coming up strongly for you, you can ask. But also we can take this time to just settle into the community space. Beginning to tune in to this moment in time. Perhaps one of the things that we can do as we're waiting is, if you're willing to share, what do you hope to get out of this time? What do you hope to get out of this community? What are your intentions? That's something you could share in the live chat as we wait. What are you looking for? What are your aspirations in joining this community? Okay, lots of people sharing. Wonderful. Theo hoping to get some calmness. Mario's intentions to make friends and also to have relationships with people who can help them understand the Dharma, understand the spiritual teachings, the spiritual practice. Hi there, Walt Key, new to the Discord. Gold wants to explore Buddhism and meditation. Mr. Higglesworth to turn the ADHD off. Daniel has been away from the meditation for quite some time, hoping to get back to it. Getting back to it, getting involved again. Certainly, that's one of my big intentions in these events and these practices. Isma, intention to improve and boost the practice. And Walt Key wants to find greater inner peace from my own guilt and embarrassment. If possible, let go of my ego and be a better learner and observer. That's right. In the introductions channel, you can write an introduction as well. And Fern wants to create a habit of meditation and mindfulness. Great. So we all have a variety of interests and intentions, but we are coming here together, unifying in our practice, a sense of engagement, community, and simplicity. And just a couple more minutes, a few more minutes, settling into the space, being patient, giving people the opportunity who may want to be here, but who are not yet here to join, so that we can really practice together. And it does take a certain degree of patience and willingness to practice if you want to do any kind of meditation. So being patient here is good. It's not sure how much we will meditate or how long we will meditate, but we will meditate. That's what we will be doing. At least partly. All right, so how about now let's see, we can begin to get started. So, hello everyone. I am Bhante Warapanyo. I am a Buddhist monk from America, but now living in England. And I've been a monk for a few years now. One of the main practices that I do, that I really enjoy doing, is teaching and facilitating meditation practice online. And this is something that has kind of come about naturally from a need and an interest of people who want to meditate together and to participate in meditation practice together. And the intention of the community is to function somewhat like an online version of a meditation center or a community center. So in your material life, in your physical embodiment of your life, if you were to go to a meditation center, you would use, a nickname or your name, and you would be intimate, getting to know people, having interactions, having experiences with the people who are also there practicing meditation. And I've found in my spiritual practice that the most empowering and the deepest effect, what brought the most benefit, peace, and change into my life was actually from relationship with other people who are interested in practicing, who are coming together regularly to practice with loving kindness, with gentleness, with patience, with understanding. And so the intention of this community, and specifically the intention of the Discord, is to foster and facilitate that kind of community, a real sense of intimacy, a real sense of accountability together, in that when we do invest, when we do begin to participate in our meditation regularly, that helps us to be a part of the community. It helps us to take care of the other people in the community, and it helps us to take care of ourselves. So every time that we have one of these events, it's an invitation. And over time, we get certain people who regularly join when they can, or watch the recorded sessions later on. But it's this invitation, this daily invitation to come together and to practice and discuss meditation, Buddhism, suffering, the issues going on in our lives in a grounded, contemplative, intimate way. No conflict, no drama, no fighting, practicing patience, practicing loving kindness, and doing our best to interact with a sense of depth. So that's the general intention of this community, and so in some ways it's a bit different, or it's quite different from many chat rooms or many online communities, is that in that we are going out of our way to foster intimacy. We are going out of our way to kind of be vulnerable with ourselves and with other people, to be open to taking care of one another and taking care of ourselves. So any questions about this community in that vein, in regards to what I've said? Questions or comments? Okay. So wholesomeness, gentleness, loving kindness, friendliness, and a very grounded, a very direct approach of coming back, returning to the meditation practice, and the Discord and these live events as a means or as an invitation in our lives to get involved in that practice again and again. And there's not so much a fixed schedule of practice. I have, kind of temple responsibilities. I have different things going on in my, my outside life, outside of the internet. But we try to do daily. And if you want to have somewhat of a daily practice or a more regular practice, what I invite you to do is to get involved with the community. Reach out, share about your experiences within the community. It's not just me who is knowledgeable and who has experience with meditation. There's many members of the community who do. And so getting involved in the Discord, and then, if you feel like you like this style of group meditations and you want to participate, if you're not able to make, one of the daily meditations, you can go back later and watch it and participate in that way. And Walt Key, it's not so much about opening up to others of deep personal struggles. The space is facilitated in a way where it is accessible, it is available for people to do that, and to feel safe and protected in doing that. But there's no impetus, there's no push. Maybe that's not the right word, but there's no push to share vulnerable or difficult aspects of your deep personal struggle. Keep to yourself if that's what you like to do. But the container of the community is I try to hold it in a way where someone can share those things, and it's never going to be an excuse for back talk or criticism or any kind of abrasiveness or harshness with that person. So trying to hold the space in this way where people really feel that they can open up and share and be vulnerable. That this is a safe space to be vulnerable, and that the last thing we're going to be doing is nitpicking on one another or making these kind of judgments about, well, you weren't perfect here, or, you should have been better there, or, haha, you don't understand this. Nothing like that. Very intimate, grounded community, focused on loving kindness, acceptance, gentleness, patience, etc. And I try to facilitate the community and moderate it in that way. So there's not really a justification for drama that's going to come up, or a justification for, something that's really going to take away from the spirit of the community. And I really try to hold to that in the practices together. Okay, so I hope that's clear. So any other questions or comments or ideas about, our community space, the Discord, and these live events? Any questions about that in particular? And if you have ideas about events that we could do or things that would be nice to do moving forward within community, you're open to share suggestions and ideas. And they will certainly be listened to and received. I'm not like a guru or a master that's taking on students. And certainly all monks are not gurus or masters or these. I'm just a normal person who's a human being who practices meditation. And I want to use my platform and my position as a monk to support other people to practice meditation. Why do I want to do that? Because it's brought so much peace and joy and health into my own life. So I'm really here as a facilitator and not as any kind of master or guru. The highest aspiration is to be a spiritual friend along the path for people here. Not looking for students or anything like that. Okay? If there's anything else, any questions about the community space or things related to that, you can ask. But if not, we'll begin to get into this introduction to meditation. That's right, meditation, voice chat, meditation events in the Discord as well, for sure. And in the vein of being a spiritual friend, before we get into the basics of meditation, I really want to share this. This is a portable incense holder that was given to me by a senior female monk in the Zen Buddhist tradition recently. And so I don't know if you can see the smoke kind of coming out, but it's this container here that's spring-loaded, and on one side you have all these small incense sticks. I don't know how well you can see this, but these small incense sticks, it slides in there. And then on the other side, you have this container for incense that is kind of plated with a, like insulating material where the incense can burn within the container. And then you have this detail here, where the smoke kind of comes out. It was such an amazing gift. I really love it. I just thought to share that. I've burned a lot of incense over the years, but I've never really had an incense holder. So I travel a lot. So when I was given this, I was kind of taken aback with appreciation. So, a general introduction to meditation practice, the kind of practices that we will be emphasizing and doing together here. A common misconception in our meditation is that we want to empty our mind, or that in meditation we need to have a no thoughts, clear mind. We need to have a peaceful, relaxed meditation. That may come, that may happen, for sure. But the basic practice, the fundamental practice in meditation is that we're going from a scattered mind, right? We have a mind that has a lot of complicated thinking, a lot of anxiety, a lot of judgment, criticism, good and bad, etc., etc. We have a lot of that. The basic practice of meditation is with a method, with a kind of tool of meditation. We're moving from a scattered mind to a more simple and open mind. But we're starting with that scattered mind. That's how we're starting, and that's totally natural. And when we practice meditation, it's not that we force that mind to be empty or to be in a particular way, but rather that we are using a tool, a method of meditation to notice, to be aware of that scattered mind, and then to come back to the tool, to come back to the method. So, what meditation method? What do we do? How do we practice meditation? Well, first, we have to recognize that we have a body. So if we're confused about the fact that we have a body, it's very difficult to meditate. But if we're able to sit down, sit comfortably, or lay down, whatever it is, getting into a comfortable position and letting the body settle. We might even be sitting in a computer chair, and that's also fine. But with the body sitting somewhat still, beginning to bring our attention onto the breath, onto the feeling of the breath. So we take a deep breath in, and we take a deep breath out. The breath coming in, and the breath coming out, or going out. So that is the method of mindfulness of our breathing. We are putting our mind into the activity, the focus, the awareness of breathing. And we feel the breath physically. That's what we're taking as our focus point, as our anchor in our meditation practice. So we feel the breath coming in through the nose, the physical experience of it. And we feel the breath going out. And as we breathe, there are many different physical experiences that go along with the breathing, right? We can feel breathing in our stomach. We can feel the breathing in our nose as it comes in and goes out of our nostrils. There's a physicality, there's a directness, an immediacy to our mindfulness of breathing meditation practice. And that's what we're relying on when we begin to practice meditation, that immediacy, that directness, that simplicity of just breathing. And so we sit or lay down, we get somewhat comfortable. And then we begin to focus on our breathing. And we can close our eyes if we like. But we're really we're really focusing on our breathing. The breath coming in and going out. as we really put our attention, our sincerity into breathing, we notice physical feelings in the body. We notice sensations in the body sometimes. So we notice that sensation or that feeling, and then we reorient. We go back to breathing. So we're noticing and returning to the breath. We're not forcing it, we're not fighting with anything, but gently we're coming back to the breath. We're noticing that we have a feeling in the body, a sensation, an experience that's coming up. We notice that, and then we go back to our meditation method, which is mindfulness of breathing, or being with the breath. And you can experiment, you can try out different ways of breathing. Breathing in a way that is comfortable for you and suitable for you. And of course, the mind is also there. So thoughts, judgments, past and future, desires and fears, all that stuff's going to come up. And we may find that we spend 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, we may find that we spend an extended period of time caught up in thinking, or caught up in a resistance to our experience, to some pain we feel in the body or some fear that we have. And so for that 5 minutes or so, when we're caught up in the mind, at that moment when we become aware that we are caught up, that we've gotten involved in thinking, we've gotten involved in fear or stress or judgment of a physical experience that we're having, that moment when we notice that we're caught up, we're involved in it, with a sense of gentleness and sincerity, we can take a deep breath if we need to, but returning our attention and our focus back to the breath. Just breathing. And moment by moment, as we do this practice, putting aside these ideas of attainment. We're trying to get something. We're trying to have an empty mind. We're trying to have a peaceful experience. We want to forget about something, or we want to remember something. Putting all that aside is the practice of meditation. And so when we're sitting here, being with the body and breathing, being aware of the body and breathing, moment to moment, coming back to just that is the practice. It's almost as if we're not doing anything, as if we're not going anywhere. It's this coming back, this returning to having a body and breathing. This is very much at the heart of meditation practice. The kind of meditation practice that long-term meditators will be doing at retreat centers. The kind of practice that the Buddha taught about, this mindfulness of breathing. Anapanasati. And it's not really religious, but it's more of a balancing practice and a healing practice in some sense, that we are embracing ourselves. We're turning towards our own body, our own mind, our own emotions, our own pains and desires and fears. We're turning towards that, and through embracing it, we're kind of working with it directly. And we're taking those difficult situations, those hidden parts of ourselves, and we're shining the light on them and making them more workable, more malleable, more open to change. But it's not necessarily that meditation is always going to be peaceful or that it's going to feel healing. But moment after moment, we come back to our breath, settling down. Feeling the breath coming in and going out. Noticing feelings in the body, but not relying on them, just returning back to breathing. Noticing thoughts, ideas, judgments. Noticing, but not relying upon them. Going back to breathing. We notice those big thoughts, those scary thoughts, those pleasurable thoughts. We notice them. We're aware of them. Very strong. We feel they're very strong, very related to us. But we notice them, and then we don't rely on them. We go back to the breathing. We rely on our meditation method, which is mindfulness of breathing. So let's try this out together. Let's try out this method of mindfulness of breathing. Just for a short time, just about 5 minutes, we'll try it out together, practicing in silence, and do your best to notice, to be aware, physical sensations, mental formations, mental experiences, thoughts. But trying out this practice of relying on the breath, relying on awareness of breathing, rather than the thoughts that come into our mind. So I'll ring the bell to begin this meditation, and then I'll ring it as we end for a 5-minute practice together. So in that practice of mindful breathing, it's very, very normal that we notice the mind gets distracted. We kind of fall asleep, or we feel tension, we feel tightness. We notice a painful physical feeling, or we notice that we're getting pulled away into thinking, into thoughts. We notice and then come back to breathing. That's the practice. Don't worry about enlightenment. Don't worry about destroying your ego or transcending consciousness. This very direct practice of mindful breathing is at the heart of the path and the development of our relaxation and our concentration, which coming together become a kind of state of tranquility, open awareness and peace. So that is mindfulness meditation. That is a primary practice that we do in this community. Does anyone have any questions about mindfulness of breathing meditation? Anyone have any questions about that? You can ask in the live chat. Keeping in mind that this mindfulness of breathing is something that we can continue to do. We can do this practice in any situation. Walt Key asking, how does one deal with feeling sleepy? It happened that I started nodding off, and this fills me with frustration. I tend to stop meditating when this happens. In some sense, it's good that we are relaxed. When we're nodding off in that way, we are relaxed, so that's good in some way. Especially if you're a person who deals with a lot of stress, it's good to relax, it's good to rest. But in our meditation, when we become aware, when we notice that we're nodding off, we're falling into a dream, we kind of snap back or we come back to our breathing, and then we continue our practice. There's no need to worry about, there's no need to get in the mud about, oh, I didn't meditate as good as I could have. Don't worry about that. It's the moment-to-moment coming back to the breath in the present. That's the practice. That's what we want to get acquainted with. So even if you're meditating for years and years, even if you're a Buddhist monk, sometimes when you're meditating, you get sleepy, you nod off, you kind of fall asleep, and then you wake up and you go back to that mindful breathing. So don't worry about getting sleepy. It's okay. Waking back up and going to the breath. Hey there, Zevi. Little Lighthouse asking, sharing, I've tried to turn attention towards itself while doing mindfulness, and I find it very challenging. Do you have any comments about that method? We're more focusing right now on just a mindfulness of breathing, being with the breath, being aware of the breath. The mind gets distracted, and then we come back to the breath. That's what we're focusing on right now. And, it's not like this is just a practice for beginners. This is a practice for people who've been meditating for 1 year, for 10 years, for 20 years, coming back to the breath, coming into the present. All right? So that's this practice of mindfulness meditation, mindfulness of breathing. We kind of have to be a little bit relaxed already to really get into the mindful meditation. So maybe after a shower or after a bath, maybe after you come home from work, before you go to sleep, or after you wake up, when you're already somewhat settled, that's when you can try out this practice of just taking a deep breath, bringing the mind home to the body, being here now. And don't worry about doing the meditation right or wrong. You just do your breath. You come back, you do your best, excuse me. You do your breath. Maybe a kind of Freudian slip there. We all know how to breathe, right? No one's confused about that. For almost anyone, we can take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale. And even 1 or 2 or 3 conscious breaths like that, deep mindful breaths in that way, it can really bring us back into the present and bring some peace and relaxation into our lives. So don't worry about meditating right or meditating wrong. Do your best. Bring this quality of sincerity and wholehearted effort to the practice, and you're going to be successful. That's for sure. Because it's accessible. It's not complicated. It's just a matter of getting involved with it. And if you'd like to, start to do your own daily meditation practice, independent daily meditation practice, that's what I would recommend. Just 5 minutes or so of a deep breathing or a mindful breathing, really being with the breath. Just being present, relaxing, being with the body and the breath for 5 minutes, and that can be your daily practice. You set a timer if you like. So moving on from this mindfulness of breathing meditation practice, now I want to talk about the other major practice that we focus on here, that I emphasize, which is metta, loving kindness meditation. In Buddhism, we have this idea of loving kindness, no excuses, no ill will, no negativity, no wishing to harm one another or affect someone in a negative way. There's no justification for that. There's no reasoning that allows us to say, yeah, I'm a Buddhist, but I want to hurt this person or I want this person to be upset. None of that. And so metta is bringing that practice and that framework of mind, into our own body and life. So how do we do that? Well, we use a quality of positive affirmation. So metta starts with ourselves. We use these affirmations to cultivate, to bring up this quality of mind that we're naturally accustomed to. We have innate in us this mind of loving kindness, patience, gentleness, forgiveness, openness, wholeheartedness, etc. And so with our mindfulness, with our presence, right, we can sit comfortably or lay down. We can close our eyes or keep them open. It's up to you. You can even do this when you're walking or if you're in a difficult situation. Taking a deep breath. And then repeating affirmations of metta, such as, you can repeat after me, you can practice along with me right now. May I be safe. May I be safe. May I be safe and at peace. Now, with metta, with this loving kindness meditation, we're not trying to convince ourselves of anything. We're not trying to make ourselves think this way. Rather, we are showing up to ourselves in this way. So when we speak these words, we're putting our sincerity, we're putting our heart, we're putting our grit, our embodiment into these phrases, and we're really showing up to ourselves in that way. We're really saying that to ourselves without any excuses. No need for there's no reasoning to do it. There's no reasoning not to do it. We're really showing up for ourselves in that way. And a part of the process is that we are learning, we are exploring, we're kind of experiencing what does it feel like, what does it sound like when I speak to myself in that way? What does it sound like when I use my mind intentionally, not for beating myself up or non-practical thinking, but when I bring up this mind intentionally of, may I be safe, when I say that to myself, when I bring up that intention. So each time that we say these affirmations, it's new. It's an exploration. It's tapping into that energy of being our own best friend that we all have a capacity for. But we don't always tune into, we don't always invigorate that and enliven that. So the practice of metta is to do exactly that. This could be your sole meditation practice, and that would be okay. You also want to have, this mindfulness of breathing, this attention, and that really helps us to tap into our sincerity, which is quite important in metta. But this could be your main practice, just using these affirmations. So let's go through a kind of a practice of metta together, and you can follow along, you can repeat after me, and really connecting with the intentionality of these words. And in the future, when you practice on your own, you can use, whatever kind of phrases you'd like to use, what are relevant to you. But with these phrases that we'll do together, we're getting that general intentionality. Okay? So taking a deep breath, gathering ourselves, coming into this moment. Repeating after me. Saying to ourselves, sending this to ourselves. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May no problems come to me. May I always meet with success. May I be free from fear. May I be free from fear. May I be free from all fear. May I be happy and at peace. May I love myself with my whole being. May I love and care for myself at all times. May I be loving and gentle towards myself and others. May I be loving and gentle towards myself and others. May I be patient with myself. May I be patient with others. May I be patient and loving towards all beings. May I be patient and loving towards all beings. May I be patient and loving towards all aspects of myself. May I be patient and loving towards all aspects of myself. May all beings be happy and at peace. May all beings and all aspects of myself be happy and at peace. So this is the practice of metta. This is the cultivation of loving kindness. It's a very powerful practice. It's a real form of meditation that the Buddha advised and encouraged. And it can be an integral part of your meditation practice every day. I have found that even in times of distress, maybe I feel a lot of fear or anxiety, I can practice metta towards myself and repeat these affirmations, and that can really help me stabilize and calm down. May I feel safe. May I be free of anxiety. May I be free from fear. We can talk to ourselves in this way, and through that, we are planting the seeds of loving kindness. We are planting the seeds of gentleness, patience, compassion, and happiness in the garden of our mind. And don't get it wrong. We are certainly the gardeners of our own mind. So metta is one of the best ways to garden and to plant wholesome seeds into that mind field. And over time they can grow and grow, becoming more and more powerful, more and more resistant to storms. We can really develop ourselves in a powerful way to live in peace. So for the final part of our group meditation practice together, what I request is that you choose. Maybe you'd like to try practicing metta on your own, or perhaps you'd like to try and practice a mindfulness of breathing on your own. Whatever you choose, now is the time to practice together with community. We'll do this practicing alone together, either metta or mindfulness of breathing, for 10 minutes together. And we will begin and end that 10 minutes with the sound of the bell. And after that final sound of the bell, after 10 minutes, I'll close our session together with a short bit of chanting that we can do together. You can join in with the chanting if you like. Okay, so take a deep breath. Find a comfortable position. Maybe adjust a little bit. And perhaps you like to practice mindfulness of breathing. Or perhaps you'd like to practice metta meditation. And of course, not all of us maybe can continue for this next 10 minutes. But if you can, try. And I think it will be worthwhile. So I'll hit the bell 3 times, and then after 10 minutes, I'll hit it again 3 times, and that will be the ending of our session. All right? So do your best. I'll try and do mine. So, good job, everyone. And now we'll close with just a brief chanting. And this chanting is simply the word sadhu. And sadhu is kind of a Buddhist way of saying well done or good job. So we're kind of patting ourselves on the back for wholesome activity, doing something that brings peace and richness and skillfulness into our lives. So if you'd like to join me as I chant this, you're welcome. But it's also okay if you just like to listen along. Sadhu. 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 All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining live. And if you're watching this later, thank you for also participating and joining. I hope this was a clear and enjoyable introduction to the community and to meditation. And I look forward to practicing together more in the future, supporting one another to practice, to develop, and to walk on the path. All right? Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening or day, and please be happy. Okay, take care, everybody.